Hey guys, what's going on? This is Atavi. I'm back with another episode on the channel, and today we are going to see how to make your own custom hook in React. So quickly, we have this React app spun up, and we have the code here. We have used npx create React app to make this, and now we are going to see how to make our custom hook. So let's go ahead and clean up this thing. So we don't need app.test.js, we don't need logo.svg, we don't need setup.test.js. I'll go ahead and delete it. And in app.js, we don't need the logo import anymore because we deleted the file. And let's just remove everything inside the header so that we still have the dark background, and yeah, everything still comes to center if we type something in. So if I type hello, it will be in center. So yeah, for now I'll just remove the hello. And now the idea is I want to create a hook which will grab the meaning of that word from a dictionary API. So let's go ahead and create a new folder under src. I'll call this hooks, and inside hooks I'll create a new file which is called usedictionary.js, and here I'll write rfce. This will quickly create a React component for us, and I'll hit save. And now I'll go ahead and use my own logic. So basically any hook is a React component, but it doesn't return any JSX. Instead it returns some kind of variable or something. So in this case we are returning a part of state. So I'll just create a new state here. So I'll just say const meaning and set meaning, and this should be a string, and by default this should not have anything. It should be an empty string, and I'll be returning meaning here. So once you do this, this is an hook. This is automatically an hook. Now you need to decide the logic here, what you need to do here. So I have found an API which gives an dictionary to us, entire dictionary to us. So basically this is the API, this is the URL. So I'll just copy this URL and keep this, and for now I'll just get rid of the browser. I'll make a comment and I'll have this URL here so that we know what we have to do later. So let's go ahead and start creating what we need to do. First of all, what we need is we need a way for the user to give us the word so that we fetch something. So the easiest way to do is just passing in the parameter as the word. And now you can use the use effect hook to fetch the meaning of the word whenever the state changes or whenever the word changes. So we can have like this. So basically I will have an use effect which performs a function and which depends on the word. So whenever the value of word changes, the function in this runs again. So imagine that I have a piece of state on the other side, and when I change the state, the word will be changed, and because of the dependency in use effect, we will also have the new meaning of the word. So that's how it works. So if you didn't have this, it won't fetch the new meaning automatically. So let's go ahead and work on this. So I'll just call a function which is called as fetch meaning, and we don't have this right now. We will just create it. I'll just go ahead and create a new asynchronous function. So I'll say const fetch meaning, and this is an asynchronous function. And whenever I'm using an asynchronous function, I always follow try catch. Whatever it is, I'll just always follow try catch. So I'll just say console.error, and this will just error out the console log out the error, and it's always better. And now I'll go ahead and fetch the API. So how do we do that? I'll go ahead and use const response is equal to await fetch, and we need to pass in the URL here, and I used these before a reason because we need to integrate the word here. So let's go ahead and copy the URL. I'll paste it in here, and now here I'll just go ahead and change this to $ curly brackets and word. Now the word will be integrated here and it will be much easier. So now whenever we get a new response, we need the JSON out of it, because if we go ahead and copy this thing I'll show you how the data looks like. So I'll just copy this and I'll open Thunder Clients, and it's an extension in VS Code. I'll just go ahead and paste this in here, and I'll enter the word. For now, I'll just like type hello here. I'll just send this, and let's wait for the response here. So here's the response. We get something like this. We have an array, then we have all of these things, then we have the definition of it. It's like here, used as a greeting or to begin a phrase conversation. No, sorry, a phone conversation. So now I'll just, so we know how the data looks like. This is a JSON object, right? So we will just go ahead and convert the data to JSON. So how do we do that? We will just say const data is equal to await response dot JSON. Now this should give all the response in a JSON format to us, so that it will be easy to deal with, and it will be converted into a JavaScript object, which will then be stored in data variable. So let's go ahead and console log out the data for now, and let's save this. Now let's go back to app.js. We'll just go ahead and test this. I'll just say const meaning is equal to use dictionary, and I'll just pass in hello, and let's see what happens. Now we need to go back to browser, and I'll just open the inspect element console. This is how this works. So we have all the data, right? Now we just need to get the meaning out of this, and we need to then just set it to the state so that it will be returned back to the original component. So how do we do that? So first of all, data is an array, right? First we have an array, then we have an array name meanings, and then we have all the things, and in that we have definitions, which is also an array, and then we have the definition property, right? So let's deal with that right now. First of all, the data is an array, so I'll say data 0. We just need the one meaning, we don't need everything, and I'm using question mark dot because I'm using optional chaining. So in some case, if there's an error or something like that, it won't just break everything for us. So I don't need to do console log here. I'll just say set meaning because we'll just directly update the state. And now here I'll say data meanings, because this is also an array. I'll say 0. I'll say question mark dot. I'll say definitions, and this is an array, question mark dot, and the definition. This will have the first meaning, and we just need the first meaning. Let's not make things complicated right now. So whenever we get this thing, basically we have the meaning, and we are calling this entire function through an use effect, and whenever the word changes, this function will be run again, and the state will be updated, and the original component will have a new meaning with it. So let's go back to app.js, and now if we go ahead and try to render out the meaning here, so I'll say meaning, I'll save this file. Let's go back here. So by default it's showing me the meaning of hello, right? Because if you see, we had the meaning of hello here. So now let's make this dynamic. Let's have a text box and let the user type a word, and then we fetch out its meaning. So we will enclose this in a div. So I'll just say div, and here I'll say meaning, and now I'll just have a text box. So input type, this should be input type text, and we need a placeholder. Oh, IntelliSense stopped working. So we need a placeholder which says word, and we'll also say that by default it's hello, and then we will have a button which just fetches the meaning, the new meaning. So button on click, and I'll say get meaning, and now here I'll just say get meaning, and then we will make a new function. I'll just copy this name. I'll go ahead and create a new function const get meaning, and for now this will do nothing because there's something I want to tell you. Let's make a state to keep the track of the word. Something is wrong here. Yeah, because there should be an arrow. Now let's make a state. So const word and a set word, and it should be equal to use state, and by default it should be blank. Now by default actually it should be hello, right? Because we said that it should be hello by default. And now we will just pass in the word state here, so that whenever the state updates, this thing will update, and we will get the new meaning inside this variable, and we can use it here. So now let's go ahead and see why we should not use the state here, and why should we not say on change, and why should we not update the state here. Because if whenever we type something, the state will change and it will try to fetch the dictionary for us. We don't want that. We just want, whenever we click the button, we want the new meaning, right? So what we will do, it's easy. We will just give it a ref. So first let's create a ref, so that whenever the text box changes, we don't want the entire component to re-render and all the fetching to be happen. So let's just create a new ref. I'll say const input ref, and I'll say use ref. So basically what use ref does, it is like it gives us the access to the entire DOM. Like if I use ref here, input ref, now input ref should give me the access to this text box entire DOM elements, which normally React doesn't give, right? So because React has a virtual DOM, we can access its elements and set things like this. But if you have a ref, you can access the DOM directly through input ref, and that's what we want. We want the value, and we don't want to like alter with all the states, and we don't want to re-render everything. So the only time we want to set the state here is when the user clicks a button, right? So when the person clicks on this button, we want to change the state. And how do we do that? We will just say set word, and then we will say input ref dot current dot value. So the current object has all the DOM elements, and now we will use the value here, and whenever this button is clicked, the state will change, and then this will change. Use dictionary will fetch all the new meaning, and it will be rendered here. Now let's go ahead and save this, and let's try to test this. Now by default the word is hello, and now let's go ahead and try to search for something. I'll just search for phone here, and I'll say get meaning. Yeah, a telephone. Makes sense, makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, I'll just go ahead and search for telephone then. Yeah, now it works, you know. Now that's how this thing works. So if you understand, this is the very specific use case of use ref. If I wanted to do, I could have made specific states, like one state to update this text box and another state to be updated when this function is run, but that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I think use ref should be a good option here. However, you can implement however you want. This is just a personal opinion. So if you found value in this tutorial, make sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe button to show some support to me. And that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.